I want to say thank you all for joining us here today, and thank you for the San Diego Foundation for hosting this event. This is a symbolic location, as what we're here to discuss is something that's going to be a part of a regional and collaborative effort. We're here today to launch a very important initiative. That initiative is called Prepare San Diego. I've been with the Red Cross for approximately 7 months now. And the main thing I've learned is that preparedness brings all of us together here, which is why we're doing things this way, a new way in this region. I've gone all over the country and I've talked to individuals about preparedness activities, and I was determined to make sure that the Red Cross was a part of this. And I think that San Diego has all the capability of being the most prepared city in the country. Through Prepare San Diego, the Red Cross from all different service areas is bringing together key members to create sustainable networks that encourages preparedness and carries out response and recovery and strives for resiliency in the face of disaster. Through Prepare San Diego will be a part of a great coalition of individuals who are going to help bring this forward. Over the next 4 years, our main preparedness goal is to get 1 million San Diego County residents to take action. 1 million San Diego County residents to take action in regards to preparedness. That action is making an emergency plan, build a disaster kit, or get trained for that next disaster. Our response and recovery goals would be and will be, from a response perspective, to increase San Diego region's ability to feed, shelter, and care for those impacted and displaced by human emergencies and disasters. And for recovery, we are going to strengthen the region's post-disaster recovery infrastructure and economic resiliency. We all are here in this together, each one of us here. We are all linked and interdependent, and we all need to be a part of being prepared. The goal is not just awareness. The goal will be action. Much like seatbelts, it's not enough to know that you should wear your seatbelts. You have to actually put it on, and you have to put it on every day. But the goals cannot be reached without the help and work of key partners in the organization. And I don't want to give the impression that this is a Red Cross initiative. This is an initiative that all of us are going to be taking forth as we move forward in our jobs. Many of the individuals here have done incredible work far and beyond of what we have talked about so far. But we have great partners in this effort, and all of them are going to do their part, and all of them have done their part in certain ways. For example, my former colleagues on the City Council, here you have Todd Gloria, Marty Emerald, Mark Kersey, David Alvarez, and Scott Sherman have all agreed to be a part of Prepare San Diego. But not only that, we have the quarterback of any emergency response, the County of San Diego, where you have Ron Roberts and Dave Roberts, both supervisors, and also OES participating and doing everything they can to help prepare San Diego for that next disaster. Then you have corporations like SDG&E and AT&T and Cox Cable. We also have the San Diego Unified School District who is involved in this, and San Diego State, unfortunately, the president wasn't here able to make it with us, but he is in total support of it. Also, our Chamber of Commerce, who understands the idea of business resiliency, represented here by our former mayor, Mayor Sanders. The California Restaurant Association is here. Also, great companies like GKN from El Cajon is here to support this effort. So we have a broad coalition of individuals and organizations, including the Economic Development Corporation, who has been along with us all the way, that are going to support an effort of preparedness in this region. We will be more prepared, and I'm very excited to say that all of these individuals are here for that. So we're going to start with some comments of individuals who have already worked on some of these issues, but are going to continue to work more collaboratively with us together, starting with our county supervisor, Ron Roberts. Supervisor Roberts?
Thank you, Tony. We've been working together for so many years. It's good to have you in this role, I would share with you. And as I was coming in here and I was looking at all those clouds out over the mountains right now, beautiful white clouds, I was thinking, I hope it's raining a lot over there right now. This is a great time of the year for us to get everything wet out in that backcountry. Well, it's good to be back with Tony Young discussing a topic that's close to both of our hearts. Shortly after he joined the Red Cross, he and I talked about the need to boost disaster preparedness throughout our region. During the 2007 wildfires, Mayor Sanders and I spent an awful lot of time together out at the Emergency Operations Center, which the county hosts in Kearney Mesa. I happened to be chairman of the Board of Supervisors then. I can attest to how chaotic it was for so many families and so many businesses here in San Diego for those who had not created a disaster preparedness plan. We were then conducting the largest evacuation in the history of our county. I think the total ran to about 500,000 people who had to be evacuated from their homes. Well, as Tony knows, some of our concerns were addressed in June of this year when the Board of Supervisors agreed to coordinate with the Red Cross and with others on improvements to our emergency maps. This was one of the first things that the former councilman, he'll always be councilman to me, the former councilman and I recognized that was something that needed to be done. It's never been easier for emergency service providers to create and to share maps. Thanks to our GIS systems and our software and the internet. We all want to make sure that the symbols, though, that we use and are shown on these maps, whether they be for a shelter, for a power line, for a road closure, we want to make sure that we are all using the same symbols and they have the same meaning to all of us. So we agreed at that meeting of the Board of Supervisors to work with the Red Cross to promote and expand the Ready San Diego Business Alliance, along with correcting all those symbols. All of this is really what is happening here today. This is a complementary effort to the things that are going on. I'm here to encourage the 300 businesses already part of Ready San Diego to sign on and to share their efforts with the Red Cross. For anyone who is wary or thinks that signing up will take too much time, just go to the website, preparesandiego.org. It's surprisingly simple to get started. I want to also strongly support your efforts, Tony, to reach households. We need folks to have an emergency plan and get ready now, not when a disaster is underway. And fires are not the only potential disaster. We live in a very earthquake-prone area. Well, people can do that with Prepare San Diego and also on their mobile phones or tablets using SD Emergency. This is the county's free app to build a personal emergency response plan. In a few months, we hope to be able to get together and announce some exciting improvements to that map. A region is best prepared and most resilient when strong networks of collaboration exist between government, residents, the private sector, and our nonprofit organizations. Tony, thank you and thank the Red Cross for strengthening that life-saving collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. I'd like to also call up our interim mayor, Todd Gloria, who is working closely with us to do some work with the city.
Thank you, Tony. Good afternoon, everybody. Special shout out to my folks from Broadway Heights who are here. Good to see you all. I'm not surprised by your turnout, and I know that you are part of several communities who are deeply involved in this effort, so I'm glad you're involved. It's certainly a privilege to be with everyone today to launch Prepare San Diego. This, as some of you know, is my first full business day as San Diego's interim mayor, and it seems appropriate that we're talking about prioritizing public safety and, of course, emergency preparedness. Like so many other things, emergency preparedness requires collaboration. And it's a concept that might have been missing just a few weeks ago at City Hall. I'm here to tell you those days are over. This group today proves that in San Diego, preparedness is everyone's priority and that we all have a role to play. Everyone remembers the horrific fires of 2003 and 2007. Supervisor Roberts mentioned the great leadership of our former mayor and he in leading the city, the region through that terrible time. As dedicated first responders did all that they could to protect lives and property, San Diegans of all kinds reached out to lend a hand. Qualcomm Stadium, as you might remember, became a hub of coordinated activities by people from throughout the community. When times are hard in San Diego, we all pitch in and help. And Prepare San Diego takes that same notion of collaborative effort and directs it toward preparation before a disaster of any kind strikes. Now, your city is ahead of the game on this. On September 24th, the San Diego City Council will consider 5 items, all of which are related to this topic. I want to take a moment right now to acknowledge the chair of our Public Safety Neighborhood Services Committee, Marty Emerald, who is here, along with my wonderful colleagues, Mark Kersey and Scott Sherman, who are also present right here, so close. And of course, our Fire Chief, Javier Maynard, all of whom are wonderful advocates for Prepared San Diego. They're helping to coordinate and create advocacy for public safety. Now, at that September 24th meeting, we'll have a report from the city's Emergency Operations Plan, a report from the Office of Homeland Security on some grants, and consider a memorandum of understanding with the American Red Cross, among other things. I see you all taking your Blackberries out now and marking that day in your calendar, September 24th. All of those items are focused on ensuring that the city of San Diego is doing all we can as a part of this region-wide coalition to be ready and to get our neighbors ready for any emergency that may arise. San Diegans are indebted to the American Red Cross and to my predecessor, Tony Young, and the coalition that he has helped build to address emergency preparedness in our region. It's great work, and I'm glad the city is a partner. Thank you very much, Tony.
I also want to make sure I say thank you to Councilmember Emerald and Kersey, who have worked very closely with us to actually create that day at City Council. Also, we have here, which is really terrific to see, 2 Board of Supervisor members here. Supervisor Dave Roberts. Supervisor Roberts.
Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for being here. I think this gathering of leaders here and citizens shows when this region wants to do something, they can do it well. It just takes a really good leader. And Tony, you and the American Red Cross should be greatly complimented for pulling this together. You know, this initiative, while people are talking about fire preparedness, which is so important, it's also for other things too when we have emergencies here in this region, and they could include flood, you know, terrorist attacks, earthquakes, or others. And so we have to be prepared, and that's what this is all about today, to talk about preparedness. It's important for people to come together to do this. Now, I just got back at midnight last night. I went up to the Yosemite Rim fire. I had been asked to serve as a volunteer up there to help feed the firefighters and others while they were trying to rest over the holiday weekend. And it was really eye-opening. You know, I was an evacuee in the 07 fires here, but I had never really seen it so up close and personal. I know Chairman Ron Roberts at the time, when you were the chairman of the board, you got to see it here up close and personal. But as time goes on, and I was talking with SDG&E about the preparedness that we have to do here, you know, our power lines, all the different things we have to do, and anything we can do to prepare our citizens, I think it's important to do. But being up there and being with the evacuees for 2 days, it really opened my eyes why it is critical to prepare everybody and to prepare 1 million people here in San Diego. And I have to tell you, American Red Cross was front and center up there for this disaster up there, and I complimented them. They actually made a video. I met with 6 other supervisors while I was up there. But we can't do this alone, and that's why all of us, the city, the county, all of us, and I see a rep from the League of California Cities here. I know when I served on a city council, I learned how important it was to work with others. You cannot do it alone. And that's really what this is all about, to prepare us and why this is so important. And I really think that we can all help to empower our region to get prepared. Everybody has a role to play, whether you're a leader standing up here with me or whether you're a citizen. Everybody has a role to play, and we can do this. We can prepare San Diego for emergencies if we do this together. Thank you very much.
I just want to make sure that folks understand that the Port of San Diego here is also represented by Rafael Castellanos. So I want to say thank you to Rafael for being here. Also, we have here someone representing the business community, someone that I know very well and work very closely with. And the issue of business resiliency is going to be very important here. Our Chamber of Commerce CEO, Jerry Sanders.
Well, I've been working on this effort tirelessly, which means I answer all Tony's phone calls, follow all the orders he gives me, and I know it'll turn out perfect. Tony, thank you very much. Red Cross is tremendously important to our community, along with this coalition of people. And what the San Diego Regional Chamber stands ready to do is work with each of our businesses to get them prepared for any disaster. So I once again want to thank Tony. And I think Mayor Gloria, and I'm not using the interim term, looks awfully good today, and I'm very excited to see him in office. Thank you.
Also, a major sponsor and supporter of this initiative is David Geyer from SDG&E.
Well, thanks, Tony. It's always a pleasure to be here. SDG has been a long-term supporter of the Red Cross, and it's really actually my honor to serve on the board of the Red Cross here locally also, so thank you for that, Tony. And everybody's sort of talked about this collaboration, the public and private sector. That's one of our core values at SDG&E, and I'm with Supervisor Roberts. It's amazing the things we can get done if we just have some collaboration there. The other thing that's core to SDG&E is safety and emergency preparedness. Our guys, just as other Supervisor Roberts mentioned, when there's a fire, when there's any disaster, our guys are out there working hand in hand with the first responders, with emergency services, and like everybody else, no one goes home till the job's done. So that's really, really important to remember and to feed the guys in the fire line. They need that. They need that after spending 2 or 3 weeks actually working on fires like we did in 03 and 07. It's a long stint out there. The same token is that it doesn't just in our community. If you go back to the Hurricane Sandy, the tsunamis in Japan, these same guys and gals are actually working for SDG and working in our community. They donated thousands of dollars from their paychecks to the Red Cross for those communities to get them back on their feet also. Personal point of view, I've been involved at SDG&E probably for the last 2 decades in almost every emergency we've had, and I've seen a lot of these guys over here, whether it's the wildfires or the landslide up on Mount Soledad, or our blackout in 2011, we're all there, and probably the common theme there is emergency preparedness. And how well people do depends on how well they're prepared. So I thank you, Tony, for being really a leader in this area. I know we'll get there. It's going to be an exciting road, and I'm happy to be here to launch this today. And just think about how our community may be if we had 1 million people out there with a plan, with supplies, and ready to respond to those emergencies. So we have a big road ahead of us, but I'm sure we're going to get there. Thank you very much, Tony.
Batting cleanup is someone I thought was very important to be a part of this initiative because he is interested in big ideas. He's a supporter of ideas that are going to help the entire region and somebody that I respect an awful lot, Mr. Malin Burnham.
Thank you, Tony, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Several things that come to mind. I'm going to try to personalize this as much as possible. But first of all, I agree with you, Tony. It's very representative to have this kickoff meeting at the San Diego Foundation, among other reasons, because it also houses the Center for Civic Engagement, and that's what we're really talking about throughout the county. San Diego Foundation, in that regard, is the expert in collating and bringing on a collaborative basis all facets of our county in a massive study that they did starting 2.5 years ago and finding out what's really important in the people in the county. So this is, and I believe, while I'm not in charge, But I do believe that the Center for Civic Engagement will be can be very helpful with some of your efforts in research and in other areas here. An idea that's come to my mind over the last several years, and I really haven't done anything with it. I've talked to a few people, and and I'm not about to tell our fire chief how to run his railroad, but in my mind, and I know nothing about this, by the way, but in my mind, we have over 50 fire districts in San Diego County. That doesn't sound like the most efficient way of putting out fires and making emergency calls and so on and so forth. Seems to me that this kind of an effort that you're starting here, Tony, can look at some of these ideas and, again, on a collective basis, offer some ideas that are more efficient, both from a standpoint of emergencies, but also as far as our budgets are concerned. Talking about 1 million people to be prepared, that's basically one per family. If every family had one person that knew something about what to do when the lights go out, for instance, when the earthquake comes or whatever it is. In my own case, I was just thinking over here, if there was a major whatever earthquake, we all know that we're on major earthquake faults, what would I do if I'm in my home? I'd probably turn the television on and find out that electricity's off. I'd probably go to my cell phone, which I don't own. My wife would probably get on the telephone and it's not working either. So what do you do? Huh? Wouldn't it be nice if everybody had a little preparation sheet in their house that's tacked on the back of a cupboard door somewhere? So when that happens, at least you have the best place to start, the next place to go, and so on and so forth, what to look for, how to prepare the house against fires, emergency, whatever. Just simple things like that, I believe, are going to come out of this effort and make us all a better community accordingly. So I take my hat off to you, Tony, and your team for putting this together. And again, it's more than just preparedness that may never be needed. There are a lot of things between here and there that we're going to benefit from as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Malin. And I want to say thank you, all of us, for joining us today. And I didn't forget about Broadway Heights. Broadway Heights is here for an important reason. One of the things that we're going to focus on as we move forward with Prepare San Diego is we are going to focus on specific communities. And we're going to provide as many resources as we can to get those communities up to speed so we can show them that we can actually move the needle if we work together and use all the leverage that we have here in this room and more to make sure that we support them. So Broadway Heights is one of our neighborhoods that we will be supporting, and we appreciate you all being here today. So remember, it's about Prepare San Diego, Preparate San Diego. I did that for our Spanish media who asked me to do that. And we're going to work very, very hard to get this done. It's a very important task, and I think it's well worth it. And we cannot just talk the talk. We actually have to walk the walk, which is why we had nearly 100% of our own staff and a good portion of our volunteer staff sign a Prepare San Diego pledge. And I would encourage everybody to do the same thing. I also would remind everybody it is National Preparedness Month, and many of our partners have events and other initiatives that are going to happen this month. Join us on 9/24 or September 24 for Prepare San Diego Day at the City Council, and make a commitment to get your employees prepared. I think that's important. All working together, we can get 1 million people prepared. 1 million people to take action to get prepared in the next 4 years. And with the partners here, and with your effort, and with your support, we can do that. So with that, I want to say thank you all for being here. This is a strong show of support for today, but we're going to continue to work on this for the next 4 years. Thank you very much.